built the ark. When the rain came down, like Moses who followed God and led the slaves in Egypt out. Like David who threw a stone and the giant fell down. Like Jonah who ran away, but in the belly of the whale turned round. I wanna be a hero of the faith. In your proud I run this race, a hero of the faith for you. I wanna be a hero of the faith. Make me strong so I can be a hero of the faith for you.
Good morning, boys and girls, moms and dads, all of our virtual friends at home. Welcome to another day of our virtual Heroes of Faith VBS. Today is day 3 and we are going to talk about our hero Elijah and how the Elijah thinks fast and takes initiative. Today we are hosting our VBS from All Saints Anglican Church, and the priest presiding over at All Saints is Father Mark Logue. Today is going to be so much fun, but before we get into the fun, we need to meet our co-host and assistant for today. Let's see who it is. Okay, so today with us we have
Diani.
So Diani is going to be our super special helper for today. So Diani, tell us something fun about yourself.
Well, I have my own small business. I make handmade jewelry and it's named Janae's Collection.
Wow, so Diani makes jewelry. So that means you're good at arts and craft, is it safe to say?
Yes.
So she will be a great helper for our arts and craft today. But before we get into the fun, let's hear this story about our hero,
Elijah.
Elijah the prophet spoke to Ahab, the evil king of Israel, and gave him a message. There will be no dew or rain for the next few years unless I command it. This will certainly happen.
Oh no!
Then God told Elijah to go to a place near a stream. God said the ravens would provide food for Elijah to eat, so Elijah obeyed God. The ravens brought him bread and meat, and he drank water from the stream. After a while, the stream dried up because there was no rain in the land. Then God told Elijah to go to a small village. God said a widow in the town would provide for Elijah, so Elijah obeyed God. When Elijah got to the gate of the city, he saw a widow gathering wood. He called to her, "Please bring me a little water so I can drink." As she went to get it, he added, "Please bring me a piece of bread too." But the women told Elijah, "I don't have bread. I only have a little bit of flour and oil." The woman and her son were planning to eat one more meal before they died from hunger. "Don't be afraid," Elijah said. "Go and prepare the meal, but first bring me a small loaf of bread. Then make some for yourself and your son. God says you will not run out of flour or oil until rain comes again." So the woman prepared the meal. She, Elijah, and everyone in her household had enough to eat, and she did not run out of flour or oil, just like the Lord had said. Sometime later, the woman's son got sick, and he stopped breathing. Elijah took the boy upstairs and laid him on the bed. He cried out to God, stretched himself out over the boy 3 times, and cried out to God again. "Lord my God, please let this boy live again," Elijah prayed. The Lord listened to Elijah, and the boy's life came into him again. He was alive. Elijah led the boy to his mother. She said to Elijah, "Now I know you are a man of God, and the Lord really does speak through you." God miraculously provided through Elijah to give food to the widow and life to the widow's son. Many years later, God miraculously provided through his own son, Jesus. Jesus is greater than Elijah. In Jesus, God provides salvation and life to everyone who trusts in him.
That was a very interesting story. Did you like that story, Deannie?
Yes, I did.
Did you like that story at home? I hope that you were paying attention, because now we know why Elijah is a superhero of faith. So Deannie, what makes Elijah a superhero of faith?
Elijah is a superhero of faith because whenever God comes to him, he obeyed. And when he went to the widow and he asked for the food, she listened to Elijah. And in return, when her son went sick, he cried out to God, and God saved the widow's son.
So Deannie said a key word, obey. Elijah is a hero of faith because he obeyed. He made sure that he did what God asked him to do. And what was it that God asked him to do?
God asked him to go to the stream and that he would provide food and water. And when it dried up, God told him to go to the widow. And so Elijah went ahead to the widow and asked for the food. And that is how Elijah met with the widow and ended up saving the widow's son.
Great. So imagine now, there you are, you know that food is gone, water is gone, but God is telling you, no, go and I will provide, I will make sure that there is enough food for you and for the widow and her son. Now, it's like God telling you to do something that you think is impossible. But when it comes to God, nothing is impossible, right? We learned about that yesterday with our song, that God makes nothing impossible. Anything is possible with God. And so because of that, Elijah obeyed. Elijah listened to what God said to do, and he did it. And because Elijah obeyed, God made something wonderful happen, right, Deannie?
Yes, he did.
And what was that?
He made the widow's son come back to life.
He did. So remember, Elijah taught fast. Remember, the widow's son just was sick. All of a sudden, Elijah didn't cry. Elijah didn't get worried or anything. Elijah just went upstairs with the boy's body and he prayed. And because God knew that Elijah was so faithful to him and obedient to him, he answered Elijah's prayer, and the widow's son had life in him again. So you see why it is important to listen, to obey, and to have faith in God, because God is going to answer our prayers, right? He will answer our prayers. So that is what our story explained, and that is why Elijah is a superhero of faith.
Our question for the day is, do you call on God in prayer when you have a choice to make? Our song for today is
Obey the Lord.
Obey, obey, oh. Obey, obey, oh. Obey, obey, obey the Lord. Obey, obey, oh. Obey, obey, oh. Obey, obey, obey the Lord. We can choose to listen to and obey God. We can choose to follow all His rules.
Alright, we are ready to make a fun craft for today. Let us grab our packages because we're going to find out what is it that we're going to need. For our craft today, from our packages, you're going to make sure you have your sheet, and the sheet has a jar, flour, and oil on it. We're also going to need our Bristol board sheet. That is the one that's a bit stiff, not the construction paper, but the Bristol board. We're also going to need our box of crayons, as well as our yarn. What's not included in the package that you're going to need is a pair of scissors, as well as glue. So what we're going to do is we will make and cut out the main ingredients that the woman used to make bread that God provided for them. With your sheet, with the pictures on it, you're going to color it as colorful, as beautiful, as creative as how you want it to be. And then once we're finished with coloring the picture, we're going to use our glue to stick it to the Bristol board. Once we've completed sticking it onto the Bristol board, we're going to cut it out with our pair of scissors. Let's get started, Deannie. Okay, so we're not quite finished yet, but this is our progress so far. We'll check back in soon with our finished product. Alright, so we are finished with coloring our flour, jar, and oil. Now what we're going to do is glue the sheet onto the Bristol board. We don't need a lot of glue, boys and girls. Little, and then we spread with our finger. If you're using a glue stick, all you need to do is spread it. If you're using liquid glue, you just need a little and spread with your finger. We don't want it to be too messy. Alright, now that we have our paper stuck onto our Bristol board, we're going to take our time and cut out each picture. So you might need the help of an adult or someone at home to help you cut out these pictures. have our jar, our flour, and our oil. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use our scissors again and just create a slit at the top of each of our cutouts. So what you could do is fold the top of the jar and then you cut a little slit for our yarn to pass through. There we have it. And then we do the same for the flour and the oil. Now I have all three of them with a hole in it. So we'll take a piece of our yarn. We don't need a large piece because we're still going to use the yarn for another craft coming this week. So we just need one that's long enough just to fit through 3 of the cutouts. And now we have our flour jar and our oil, just like the widow and Elijah in the story. So when we look at this, we can be reminded that once we're obedient unto God, that He is going to provide for us. Oh, Deanna, yours is so beautiful.
Thank you.
And you notice Deanna did it a different way. So whichever way you want to string yours together, you can do so. All right, and then you could just hang it up, and if somebody sees it, you could tell them the story of Elijah. All right, we have come to the end of our day today. Oh man, is that time already?
Yes, it is.
I'm not ready to go. Are you ready to leave?
Nah.
I had fun with you today. Did you have fun, Deanne?
Yes, I did.
Did you have fun at home today? Well, I hope that you did. But it's not the end of it because we have 2 more days to go. We have tomorrow and Friday, which is going to be the last day. But we are going to continue to have fun when we come, so don't get sad. Deanne, how was your experience with us?
It was great. I learned a lot about Elijah, and I definitely had fun creating the craft to remind us that God will provide.
Yes, He will, right? Once we are faithful and obedient, just like Elijah. So remember to send us those photos of your craft because we want to show it to everyone on Friday for our final episode. Until tomorrow, we're going to say to you, goodbye.
Bye.
And like Daniel who trusted God, see the lions make no sound. And like Joshua's mighty shout, man, the Jericho wall fell down. Like Abraham's story sings, he was faithful in all things. And like Mary who welcomed God when she birthed our heavenly King. I wanna be a hero of faith. In your proud heart, love makes grace a hero of faith for you. I wanna be a hero of faith. Make me strong so I can be a hero of faith for you. Formed against me will defeat my faith in God.